People have a lot of ideas, but it's worse than what you would ever think would go on in there. A couple men will be in the same booth together, or a man and a woman, or people in two different booths, and they're doing stuff with each other through the glory holes. That's just the beginning of what goes on. I've seen drugs go through there. I've actually talked with people who have told me they're drug traffickers going through there. The theaters, anything goes in there basically. I've seen people having sex, doing various sexual acts, male group sex, male-female group sex. That's the reality of what is going on inside of there. Not just that, stuff happens out in the parking lot. Some of the same sexual acts that are going on inside are actually going on outside in the parking lot. This is not just limited to a building. For someone who is addicted to drugs, you can equate looking at porn maybe in the privacy of your home as marijuana, but the things that go on inside Theatair X are crystal meth. It's pretty disgusting. There's semen on the floors, urine on the floors, semen on the walls. I've seen fecal matter on the walls. That's just in the booth area. In the theaters, I think it's worse because it's carpeted in there, and there's stuff on, just as it is in the booths. There's stuff on the walls, in the carpet, in the seats that people sit down in. It wasn't uncommon for me to have gone to a local store after coming out of Theatair X, and no one was exempt. I was eyeing everybody, just still sexualizing them, looking at them. Even though I just left Theatair X, I still had this mindset of checking people out, not valuing them necessarily as a person, but as a thing of desire.
The glory holes, there's probably 20, 30 rooms in the back, and the glory holes are where you go in and you pay to watch video, and then you shut the door and you lock it behind you, and then there's hole about waist level, and I mean, anything from men coming in there I've seen men in there with girls, and you pay to have sex with their girl through a hole, or just other men performing sexual things on other men through the hole. The perception of Theatair X being the only selling DVDs and novelties is a total myth. The reason Theatair X stays open and can afford to stay open is due to their extracurricular activities, you could say, their glory holes, their movie theaters, their live shows. That's where it all happens. And there's a perception that that whatever goes on in Theatair X stays in Theatair X, and they're adults and they can do whatever they want, but that's a total lie. I know for me, I brought back my experiences, my nasty self, what I experienced to a girlfriend. I brought my addiction back home to my family by never having money and always having to borrow money, overdrafting my bank account. I know stories of a guy that brought back an STD to his family from Theatair X. Yeah, I actually had a relationship with a girl, became friends with her. She was doing the live shows, and And I'll never forget her saying how worthless she felt, about how the men looked at her and treated her. She hated it. She felt like she wasn't good for a regular job. She wanted to work in a preschool, and she felt like she couldn't do it because of Theatair X, and the managers, Theatair X, treated her horrible. They would force her to do things that she didn't want to do. Force things in her body that she didn't want to force in her body through the live shows.